I set the record with a motorcycle, but I always knew there was a title out there for the world's fastest blind man.
He goes, I know with this guidance system I can go faster than that.
It's cool when he comes up with these ideas. I mean, they're crazy. Normal people don't think like that. After my accident, if I sat home and wanted to sit on the couch and say my life's over, that would have been acceptable. Why is not giving up crazy?
I found the Corvette. It was a flood salvage 2008 Corvette with no motor, no interior, and to say it had a rough life would be an understatement.
Somebody came in and donated a chassis.
People were helping.
Tuners and chassis guys and all these guys were helping remotely from around the country.
He designed every bit of that car. He knew how he wanted his built.
And in 2011, the National Federation of the Blind, they had built a car called the Blind Driver Challenge. President Rick Bono reached out to me in 2021, asked me, did we want to set the Guinness record for the fastest car driven blindfolded for the 10-year anniversary of the Blind Driver Challenge? Of course, I said yes. The first day at Spaceport had 50-mile-an-hour crosswinds. Normally land speed racing stops at 17 miles an hour.
It was so incredibly windy, it was so cold, it was uncomfortable.
I would get up to 110, 120, and look at telemetry. I'd stay on a 10-foot path over a mile and a half. Second day, my first pass, I went 158. Second pass, 188. So the third day, I felt like I had the weight of the world on my shoulders. I still hadn't cracked 200. At noon, I just tried to sneak away from everybody, and I went to the left front corner of my dually. I just sat down and backed up to the tire, and I prayed. The team finds out that the GPS sensor quit on the roof. Patrick sat in the rental car and reprogrammed the software for 2 or 3 hours.
From an engineering point of view, I gave him the best I could give him.
We would practice literally with my eyes closed.
When you close your eyes and you can't see that anymore, what an experience that is. So for Dan to hop in here and just go, it's amazing.
There were still some problems, and the car still hadn't made the Guinness run yet. Dan was so worried.
So we went out there, still 30-mile-an-hour crosswinds, went through the traps, 205 miles an hour. The Guinness official said, because the time was running out, he said, I'll take that as your first pass if you want it. Because when we do our Guinness record, we have to make one pass one direction, within 1 hour, go the opposite direction. We'd already wasted 13 minutes, and I was really having to fight the car. I want to make some adjustments. I told the team, I said, I'm not unbuckling, I'm not taking my earbuds out. The water pump broke on the cooling cart. So it emptied, but they didn't have a way to fill it. I'm oblivious to this. We got 12 minutes for the clock. We roll out straight down Broadway with a 26-mile-an-hour crosswind, go through the traps, 212 miles an hour. That made the Guinness record that we brought home to America, 211.043 miles an hour. It was a monumental date. I just set the Guinness record on the 10-year anniversary of my wreck.
I cried, I screamed, I yelled, I clapped.
It was just amazing knowing what we just accomplished, not only for myself as a team and for the blind community, to break barriers for the blind and something that I designed.
On behalf of all of the members of the National Federation of the Blind, I just wanted to give Dan my personal congratulations, but this is a wonderful moment.
How many people hold a Guinness World Record? And now, here it is. It's hanging on the wall in the house. Welcome to the Blind Machinist World Headquarters.
My pleasure.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
Right here. Good to see you.
That's just a regular portaband that I mounted vertical, and I have a foot pedal.
My name is Jay Blake. I am the world's only totally blind crew chief in the world of motorsports.
Each one of those is a slot, but if you back up, feel that strip. They're bolt heads.
Oh!
He's the first blind person I met. He's been a mentor, a friend, a guidance counselor, a grief counselor. He's been everything to me.
I reached out to him. At this time, I had been blind for a while, and I wanted to let him know life's different, but it's not over, and you can't give up.
So the right pedal is when the table moves left to right.
0.0425.
He went blind overnight like I did, so he knows the exact feeling of going to work one day and waking up blind. He's been blind for 15 years longer than I have.
If you have sight, you do not know what it's like to be totally blind. I don't mean that in an insulting way. You can close your eyes all you want. Your mind's eye is real. Dan and I have been blind for years. We relate to things different than other people, but that's what makes our bond so tight is he's helped teach me things. And there aren't many blind race car people, and it's really cool to be able to, work with each other.
I want to put Braille on the car so if a blind person comes up, they can read it. The name of the Mustang Cobra is the Braille Snail. This is the Braille Snail driven by Dan Parker, the world's fastest blind man. The Mustang's going to get me back to drag racing. Rocky Mountain Race Week has given me permission to participate next year and become the first blind person to participate in a real drag racing event. So Mike is a local Mustang nut, and he owned the Cobra, and he sold it to me.
We ended up swapping it from the standard to the automatic for him.
All Cobras are stick shifts. We used an old style AOD transmission that had a TV cable.
We had to make some custom brackets.
I machined all the parts to bolt to the transmission, and I made the shifter brackets for the transmission shifter cable.
Stuff Dan does, he doing stuff that guys that can see, and he does it well. People that work on cars, they understand. Sometimes you run into a problem, you're like, it's a little frustrated. Him being blind, it's like it doesn't slow him down. He'll get out there with us under the cars. It's really overwhelming just watching him do that stuff.
Hey, Jim.
Yeah.
And you come around that corner, the last two times, I heard boom, 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 boom. Patrick Johnson is the engineer that built the guidance system for both the motorcycle and the Corvette.
He was really starting to look at how he could kind of continue doing this without the huge operation of the Corvette. He's looking for a way to get out there on the track, still drive, but be able to do it at a little bit more economical rate. So the Mustang was a great choice for that. So we developed a system to repackage all the electronics such that he could just attach that to whatever car he wanted to and go out there and race. Dan designed all of this himself, just based on feel of what he knew this felt like and the geometry of the car. All on the front of it, we have a few connectors here. The unit just plugs into a cigarette lighter, pretty simple there.
I greatly appreciate the opportunity to be here and work with Dan to drive his Mustang. What I hope to get out of it is to get a glimpse of how he went 211 miles an hour, 212 miles an hour. It's gonna be mind-blowing to drive with the guidance system that he used, and he's a dreamer.
So the whole time I'm driving, that's about how I'm moving. I'm making really slow, small, steady corrections. The tones, if it's going a hard left and you're gonna dee, then you gotta make a hard right.
Yeah.
I wish the myth that blindness is a limiting factor for us would go away.
After I went blind, I had no idea what I was gonna do with the rest of my life. And racing has given me a purpose and a mission.
It's not 1,000 horsepower, so it's not going to spin the tires, do donuts. So in the middle of the track, we built it to have fun and be able to enjoy it and be reliable.
Oh, that was awesome. That feels good? Yeah, it did.
Congratulations.
All right, man.
Yeah, it was cool.
Good.
The tones and the whole guidance system, how cool.
You just did a great job, man.
Thank you.
Man,
Thank you.
Congratulations,
hey, from
bro.
where I was sitting, it looked good. How does Dan's story impact me? It proves that if you don't limit yourself, anything is possible.
Dan is my hero.
I mean, I bet if he wasn't blind, he'd probably still be one of the fastest guys out there.
The biggest thing he does is just inspire people by the things he does.
Dan's superpower, just being able to put away fears and go do it.
You can look at the motorcycle, you can look at the Corvette, you can look at the Mustang. He had a vision. We don't have sight, but Dan has vision.
Dan's purpose, just to prove to people a disability doesn't limit your life.
Dan is a racer at heart. He's got the racing in his blood.
I put myself in these situations because I'm a dreamer.
What makes a racer and what makes a blind racer? The same thing, passion.
I'm just not going to let blindness define me and take away my joys of racing. I'm going to help define blindness for people in the future.